And we are live. Welcome everybody to Ask a Wizard. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back. Let's get this chat set to all chat. Welcome. Hey, whoa, okay. Or I could just try and knock my phone over and ban someone. YouTube, hot on the bans today. Gotcha, Barry dropping the sad faces. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know what I'll sneak. If it didn't start at 11, then I would have been able to watch. If it didn't start, I don't know what you're talking about, bud. Well, I'm sad. Darn it, I won't be able to be here. Now, you're here right now. Welcome. How's it going, everybody? Hey, Secretly Long Legs Owl, how are you doing? Welcome. Welcome. Did you guys see Instagram went down? What the heck? What is up with that? You know, it's really scary when Instagram goes down, when you given everything that's in the news and all the things going on with the social media companies. When I see Instagram go down, I don't know if you guys can relate. I'm like, so is that it? Are they done? Out of business now? You know, it's like when you see all like the nonsense going in the news, it's like you go over to Instagram and I imagine it's just some person in the office every time where they're like, so we're fired, right? Yeah, we just lost like $1 billion, right? And then we're in the news, we're getting sued by the government, everything's going on fire. We're going, no, you guys are getting promoted. What are you talking about? More money. What? Every time you see something go on, I should kind of go into Instagram today, things down. I'm like, well, guess they had a good run. They're out of business now. It's just ridiculous to me, the kind of nonsense that you see going on with these social media companies. Gotchi's making a weird emoji face. Don't know what that is, but how you doing? Hey, Elizabeth, how's it going? Hey. Sydney, Gotchi says E. Is Gotcha someone we need to ban? He seems like he's just dropping random stuff in the comment section. Cindy, how's it going? Ethan, hey, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. We're going to be doing live wizard readings. If you'd like to get a live wizard reading, make sure that you like the video and share the stream. That is how you qualify for the live wizard readings. I will add you to my list, and we'll do those readings at the end here once we talk about quality versus quantity. What does it mean? Well, a lot of the owls have been messaging me. They want to start podcasts. They want to start YouTube channels. They want to start on Twitch. And they just like, I don't know if I can do it though. Can I start? How do you do it? Why do you do it, Tyler? You know, I'm so scared. What if what if nobody shows up? What if there's only 2 people who show up? What if nobody shows up at all? And so what I wanted to talk today about is it doesn't matter how Secretly Long Legs Owl is looking for a reading. I will add you to the list. Sure. Let me get you here. Secretly Long Legs Owl. Boom. So it doesn't really matter how many people you have. What matters is the quality. And I know you hear that and you think that's not true. That's ridiculous. It's not. You know, people just say that to make you feel better, but, you know, PewDiePie gets or what's Ninja gets, and it's like, it actually is true. And so what I want to do is break down the math of this for you guys today and really get into what that really means and why you, with 10 streamers, 10 people in your stream, are in an incredibly powerful position. So if you can develop a strong connection with them, and they're good people. And so that's what we're going to be talking about here with quality versus quantity. And you guys can use this to, I hope, get you into the right mindset so you understand that you don't need to be PewDiePie. You don't need 1 million subs. You don't need 1,000 people in your live streams to really start doing some incredible things with your life. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today, and I'm hoping to help you guys out. Elizabeth says, may I get a reading? Of course. Let's get you on the list here, Elizabeth. Hey, you said I could get a reading on Instagram. All right, Johnny, let's get you on the list. Thank you very much, Johnny and Elizabeth. Boom, you guys have been added to the list. Thank you very much, Johnny. Michael, yes indeed. Let's get you on here. Hey, Nature Owl, how's it going? Done, my dude. Awesome. Thank you very much, Cindy. What was that? That's Michael. And Nature Owl in the house. Cindy. Boom. All right. Let us begin. Could I ask you quickly, do you believe in evolution? Depends. What do you mean by evolution? Are you talking about like natural selection, which is proven, or are you talking about the falsified macroevolution? Those are two different things. Macroevolution was falsified recently, actually, formulaically through, actually, I think it was by an economist, believe it or not, disproved macroevolution on a mathematical level. It's impossible for the time period taken for a gene to go from its being like a super dominant trait. So imagine like a trait that kills all of your competitors and also makes you reproduce, like, let's say 10 times more than the others. Super dominant trait. The time it would take for it to go from a mutation to the norm of the population and be the new population trait, if that happened within a time period for the existence of life to go from cell to human, or even for cell to eyeball, we would be seeing it happen every 35 seconds. You could just literally see it everywhere. We've never observed it at all. Well, if we've never observed it at all, that means that it is longer than the period of time of observation that we've done, which is 500 years, plus or minus a few years. So if we've done it for plus or minus for 500 years, and we've never witnessed it, that time requirement would mean that it is longer than the entire universe has ever existed for a cell to go to even a prototypical eye. So that was falsified pretty recently. And I mean, there's a whole bunch of other reasons why it's nonsense as well, because code can't write itself. Non-life has never been observed to become living, things like that. But yeah, it's really interesting to see what the future holds. I'm doing really well. Yeah, no, that entire theory is completely nonsensical. Yeah, that they're trying to figure out they're working on new theories now because that was falsified. It's pretty cool stuff. So quality versus quantity. So what does this look like in the material world, guys? So why do you not need to be so concerned with how many people show up to your stream if you want to start building something really awesome? Well, if you can get, say, 10 people over the course of 5 years that show up to your stream, that know you, that you know them, that they're your friends, that you trust, you hang out with, those 10 people alone can be some of the most valuable companionships you can ever have and will give you power and leverage outside of what you could possibly imagine. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And my dream, as you guys know, for the Parliament of Owls is 1,000 owls. I want 1,000 owls. That is, I see them, that is the amount where literally with 1,000 owls, I think we can change the world. And that is my goal. And I'm going to show you the math of why I think that's possible on a smaller scale here with 10. And so if you have 10 friends that are your friends, you don't even have to be really close friends, but you trust each other, you hang out, you have a good time, and you guys have similar beliefs, views, and goals for life. You can partner up with your friends and start doing some really incredible things that will help you escape debt and save a ton of money and help each other grow. So you might be saying to yourself, all right, so I'm getting out of college, right? Oh man, getting out of college or getting out of high school. Do I want to rent an apartment? I want to buy a house. It's a pretty hefty choice, right? You want to go put 20% down on a house, get a house or rent it, but you're actually paying a mortgage. It sucks. Or do you want to rent? It's a little cheaper, but you don't really own anything, so you have no equity in the house. It's not really yours. It sucks, right? What if instead you have 10 friends and you say, hey guys, I want to buy 50 acres in Alabama. I want to buy 50 acres over in West Virginia. I want to go buy 50 acres over in Louisiana. It's going to be $50,000. How about we get 5,000 each, split it up, we chop it up, 5 acres each, we all help each other build some houses on it. That is something you can do with 10 people. You just did something that would cost $650,000 per house. Sometimes that's about $6.5 million. You can just get done because you have 10 friends that believe the same things you do and want to hang out and would want to be neighbors. This is the power of having a community. So if you have a small stream, But those small stream of people are high quality people who are like, yeah, I'll go work for Starbucks for a couple of months to make 5 grand, and we'll pull it together and let's go buy some acreage. We'll chop down trees. We'll make log cabins ourselves. And then you have quality friends in there. So maybe someone knows electrical work. Maybe someone else is a plumber. Maybe someone else is a chef. Maybe someone else is a farmer. You guys can pull together skill sets that will make you a community. You can be saving hundreds of thousands of dollars every year on services by just swapping services together. That is the value that you should be seeking, because that is an attainable goal that literally every person on the planet can achieve through a stream. Not every person on the planet is going to be making a full-time living through a stream. Most people are not going to be having a massive success of stream. It's just not likely. Statistically, it is almost you're shooting for something to be in the top 5-10% of people, if not more. Now it's getting more and more concentrated. Top 1%, 99% of the money going to 1% of streamers. If you're after a piece of money, that's not the way to go. The way to go is say, I want 100 friends by the time I die that would die for me. That's what I want to build with my stream. And I want to give them so much awesome stuff and be such an awesome person that other awesome people, 100 other awesome people, want to be friends with me, want to hang out with me, want to show up, and would want to go buy a piece of land, would want to go split it up, and would want to go build houses for each other. That is a goal that you can achieve at any level. And you can do that while working another job. You can do that while pursuing your passions, your arts. These are all attainable things. And so that's what I want you guys to focus on. When you are saying, I'm trying to start something, man, I'm trying to start a podcast, I'm trying to start Instagram, I'm just afraid of posting something out there, man. It's only gonna get like 2 likes. Who's gonna like me? Who's gonna follow me? Shoot for 10 people. Shoot for 10 people. Shoot for one person. 1% out of 10. That's 10%. Move your goal up. And if you can achieve that, you are getting a huge reward. And that reward is a community of people who are awesome, like yourself, that share similar beliefs. That's what you want to shoot for. Shoot for that level. And that's why quality will always trump quantity. You'll have people with 100,000 followers on YouTube who probably can't even barely make ends meet, while you'll have someone that has 100 followers that are awesome, that are doing these kinds of projects and just absolutely blowing those channels out of the water. So don't concern yourself with the numbers. Don't try to get tons of people. It's not important. What matters is the quality of the people who come. You guys know I've banned over 15,000 people from this stream. Why? Because I only want the small percentage of people who are good, high quality people to be here for the show. That's who I'm after, is the awesome people. I want to find the 1,000 people who are the best on the planet, and that is going to be the Parliament of Owls. That's my goal. And so that's what I'm shooting for, and you can do that too. You can make that happen, and you can do it on a smaller scale right away, and you don't need to worry. So when your post gets 50 views, when your post gets 5 views, 5 is 50% of 10. You're getting close, man. So just worry about the quality and delivering value to the small group of people that you care about. And you might get more people along the way. I have been through many ups and downs in terms of how many people come in. You can go on TikTok, we'll have 1,000 people show up to a live stream. You can come to Facebook, we'll have 35 people live at a stream. You can come to YouTube, we'll have 10 people live at a stream. And then you can come back the next day and it'll be 800 on TikTok, and it'll be 10 on Facebook, it'll be 2 on YouTube. It does not matter. What matters is the quality of the people, and that's what you want to build. And so that is quality versus quantity, and I wanted to give you guys that advice before we move on to the fun stuff, which is the readings, and that's what you guys are on here for. We got you on the list, and we're going to be doing that right now. Let's get, gosh, that sucks. Man, have you... iPhone needs to stop, okay? I think we can all agree. iPhone needs to stop. This new iOS 14.893 trillion 64. iPhone, come on, man. I mean, Apple is the guy who can't The guy who can't get over his ex, that just keeps dating girls that look almost identical to his ex but with a greater flaw than his ex had. Have you noticed that? It's a fact. It's a fact. iPhone just keeps going out and they're like, no man, no, I'm telling you, she's different. This one's different. She's not the same girl. It's like, really? She is. Your iPhone there kind of looks exactly the same, except you ripped off the home button. What? No, no, no. We didn't just rip off the home button. It's not the same thing. No, no, you're fine. It's fine. Really? Who's this new one? Oh, this is totally different. It's a totally different phone, man. It's totally different. Totally different phone. And you're like, did you just rip out the audio jack? No, no, you just rip out the audio jack. Why would we just rip off the audio jack? No, no, that'd be a foolish design. Really, really. What's this new iOS update? Yeah, yeah, new iOS update. Everything's look. The home screen's different, guys. Apple, listen to me. I'm here for you. I'm here. You hear me? It's okay. You had a good run with Steve. Okay, he created something really awesome. Just keep making that awesome thing. You got to make your own thing. You got to make something else. You got to move on. I get it. You're stuck in the grief phase. We're still trying to relive the memory. I get it. He was a great guy. He reached into the future and pulled out this little square of technology. It's fantastic. It's a great product. Keep it great. Stop ripping pieces out of it and breaking it every other month, and just make something else that's awesome. Make another awesome thing. There's a lot of other cool projects out there. You could do VR. That'd be cool. What if you made a car? Try something else. Stop breaking your phone. Okay, that's my little rant for iPhone. Now let's get to the readings here. Now, first up is Secretly Longlegs Owl. Secretly Longlegs Owl. Square of Technology. Band name called it. Yes, that would be such a good one, Sydney. Squares of Technology. It's beautiful. Or you could steal my bit of the flashing boxes that I so deeply hate. Secretly Longlegs Owl says she totally agrees. I'm going to be doing some homework, so if I'm not talking, no problem at all. Secretly Longlegs Owl, it is time for your reading. Let me know what you would like insights on, and we'll get your reading started right away. Secretly Longlegs Owl. And let me know if you guys are interested in starting something. If you're trying to build content or build a stream or a channel or any of that kind of stuff, is that helpful for you? Did that give you a better perspective of it? I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. Like, I know it's a hard thing for a lot of people because they're like, man, how do I turn on my stream and 2 people show up and one of them's me on my laptop so I get the view for Twitch. And you're just like, yeah, but if you get to 10, you can divvy up land. You can do business partnerships together. You can pool monies together. You guys could go rent a mansion together. And you could go on Airbnb, rent that mansion, and split the cost by a 10th. You know, you build that thing up to 100th, you could split it by 100th. You know, there's a lot of potential. And, you know, obviously, it doesn't have to be your source of income. It's just that gift of being able to really, you know, divvy up your skill set. Okay. We need to make a brand of phone called Square of Technology. That would be legit. I want the owl. Honestly, when we have, I mean, it doesn't matter what number we're at, but I honestly see with 1,000 owls that are like the quality of people that we bring into the stream, we could make our own technology. We can make our own software. We can build some really cool stuff. I mean, I already have a lot of people in the Parliament of Owls that are very intelligent and very gifted at a wide range of skill sets, some of which include making apps and technology. So it's like, it's not unlikely. Like we could start our own brand. Apple's listening. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, Apple. My apologies. We don't have any ideas, Apple. Continue to remove features from your phone. I'm sure it will go well as a business strategy. All right. Looking into the past here. We got the 3 of Wands. So the 3 of Wands is about growth in principles. So what this is saying is we've been learning a lot about deep principles and information and philosophy lately in the past, and this has kind of helped us grow in our principled knowledge. It's actually like a new pursuit, a new hobby for us in a way. And we're gaining a lot of wisdom from this. It's really cool to see popping up here in the past. And that's kind of led to a new state where we're seeing you at, which is the Nine of Spades. So the Nine of Spades is attainment of wisdom. So what this is saying is that growth in philosophical wisdom and knowledge has actually led you to a point in your life right now where you are seeing the situation here of, wow, like, I get it. I see how these things fit together. Like, this is actually like I'm learning. It's almost like I'm learning for the first time. Like there was this point where before I was collecting wisdom, and now I've got a structure. I've got places to put that wisdom, and it helps you identify what's the good wisdom, what's the bad wisdom. And so we're really starting to attain the usefulness of our knowledge. And that's kind of what I see popping up for you here. Is that sounding accurate for you, Secretly Long Legs Owl? Let me know in the comments below if that's sounding on point. And if it's not, that's perfectly fine. We will adjust accordingly. By the way, if you'd like to get a reading as well, all you need to do is we're in the paid section now, so we have the free readings set up. But if you'd like to get a reading, go to paypal.me/askawizard and pay whatever you think a reading is worth, and we will add you to the paid reading list. It's sounding off, but unsure how. All right, let's get a little bit more insight here. Interesting. So we see that we've gained knowledge here in the past. So that's the three of clubs. So we've got basically like we've gained categories of like, oh, okay, so there's like, before I was gaining information and just kind of like saying it, kind of like what you do in school. Memorize the information, spit it back out, but I didn't really know the information. I wasn't able to act on the information. And so what we see now is you are, with the Jack of Diamonds coming into play here, you are in the spot now where you're gaining wisdom and you're realizing, oh, wait, I could apply this to my life. I could actually take action on the things that I've been learning lately. I can actually change my life for the better based on the wisdom. So that's kind of where we're seeing here. Is that sounding more accurate for you? Let me know. Let me know. By the way, after Secretly Long Legs Owl, we have Johnny. Johnny, you are up next. So if you're here, please comment below and let me know what you'd like a reading about. And we will get your reading started shortly. Johnny is up next. Oh, that sounds way more accurate. Awesome. Glad to hear that that's on point for you. And let's move on to the next steps. So what we see showing up here finally is the Nine of Diamonds. And so what this is saying is, look, we've gained these categories of wisdom. We're learning to act on the knowledge. And so the Nine of Diamonds is saying we need to start creating in the world. We need to attain physical creation in the world. And so what does that mean? More or less, what we want to be doing is like, we don't want to be in the position where we're gaining wisdom. We're like, oh, that's a really great idea. That's something I could take action on. Oh, that's awesome. And then move on to the next piece of information, and then the next piece of information, and then the next piece of information. And then that thing that you could have taken action on fades away. We don't want to be taken over by the fact that there's so much wisdom in the world that we could take action on, and then be directed. We want to direct that towards choosing one thing. I can't respond to that right now, Twilight Owl, but I will read it after the stream. Sorry, getting a DM there. So, lost my train of thought there. So what you want to do here is find a small, simple, easy way to take action on this information. If you take action right now, what is the smallest, simplest, easiest thing that you can do today that will help you get one step closer to what you're trying to do with your life? What can you do to just take action in the now? Don't worry about the big plan, just like, what is the smallest thing I could do? And let's work on that. And then we can do the next step the next day, and then the next step, and then the next step, and do a bunch of little tiny steps, and that'll be a lot better path for you than just kind of getting derailed by information, and never really moving forward. So that's the reading I have for you today, Secretly Long Legs Owl. I hope that helps you out, gives you some insights. And we have Johnny up next. And I saw Johnny send a message in the comments, so let's see what we've got here. K-Dog says, good night. My life and how I'm finding old stuff. All right, Johnny, let's get you a reading. Could you give me a little more clarification? What do you mean by I'm finding old stuff? Are you Indiana Jones? Like old animals we lost and stuff. what? Interesting. So like you're just sitting outside and a chicken that you got out of your coop comes back, or a dog that ran away and he comes back, or what are we talking about here? It's interesting, very interesting indeed. I've never heard of such a thing. I imagine Johnny is like a, I don't know why I'm getting the impression of Johnny as just like this old man sitting out in the Arctic, and he's like, we lost a wolf yesterday. He was in our pack. We used to hunt together. We had allied, not my pet, but an ally of nature. And he wandered away into the woods, and I thought I had lost him. I thought he had gone to be taken by the death itself. But no, he came back to us. Yes, that's 100% with the chicken. Awesome. I nailed the chicken. I got a feeling it was a chicken. I don't know why. So you're just like, so the chickens are getting out, but they come back. So what is it about that that's is that disturbing you, or just you just want information, or what's the deal? Like, I mean, that's awesome. Maybe you're a beast tamer. Have you ever thought about that? Have you checked your skill stats? You might be you might have taken the beast tamer perk for life, where you can just call animals to you. I swear, I had a friend in church who, when he was a kid, the dude could like communicate with bugs. I know it sounds weird. I know it's crazy. And I watched it and I tried to figure it out too. I'm a magician, okay? So my first thought was like, that's a pretty cool magic trick. I wonder what he's up to. The dude could just talk to bugs. I don't know how. It was insane. He would literally walk up to like flies in the windowsill, right? And he'd look at them and he would start talking to them in like some weird like baby language. And you're like, what's he doing? And he would hold out his finger and the flies would just go land on his finger and like chill. They just hang out on his finger and like walk around, and then they would fly around him, landing on his shoulder and fly here. And he could just like hold out his finger and like and land on his finger, and then he could just let it go, and it would just fly back. And you're just like, how did you do that? And then he grew up and he gained the ability to speak English, and he lost the ability to speak to bugs. He could never do it again. He's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. It was absurd. I have no idea how he did it. It always fascinated me though. Johnny says, yes, that's 100% it. I got lost 2 years ago. You were lost in the forest? And you communicated with the animals? What, Johnny, you are a legend. It got lost 2 years ago. Interesting. Isn't a chicken's lifespan less than 2 years? I know you always harvest them before 2 years for sure. I'm actually doing something revolving religion, and I'm trying to figure out what to write. Ooh, very interesting. Yes, indeed. You can get a reading. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was Johnny because you guys have the same color icon. But yeah, Dorian, I will add you to the list here. Johnny, you're very interesting indeed. Well, let's get you a reading and see how this helps. So, Johnny and the Lost Chicken. How about we go instead with more of a stoic approach here, see what you need to do. So we got the Jack of Hearts here. So this is saying you're the kind of person who really takes action on your emotions, right? And so I'm getting the impression that we kind of get really energetic and excited about things. And that can kind of like really be an exciting time for us, but it also can get us a little scared. I'm getting the impression sometimes we get a little overwhelmed by these emotions. So what is the things that we need to know that exist in our environment that we could take action on, that we should take action on, and that we have the ability to take action on? And so let's take a look at what those are. We see the Ace of Hearts showing up here for you. So what the Ace of Hearts is all about is beginning of a new emotional journey. And so what this is saying is recently we've been kind of getting all new senses of emotions, a lot of energy going, and quite frankly, it's a bit overwhelming. And so what this is saying is, hey, that's okay. This is a new part of the adventure. This is what we are here for. And being excited and having a good time at the beginning is normal. And, you know, sometimes it is a little scary to start a new adventure. Sometimes it is a little overwhelming and inspiring and amazing. And that's fine. Don't be judging yourself for that kind of thing. However, we do have some more advice here, which says the Six of Spades. So the Six of Spades is a grind on the intellect. And so what this is saying is, while we are feeling these strong emotions, we do need to push through and make sure that we're keeping in mind some strategy or plan and some grounding in the material, the real world. So like, we want that energy to be directed towards something, because that's that's a gift. Emotional energy is like a gift from God. Nietzsche called it the source of everything, the will to power, and it's a gift only bestowed upon people in limited amounts, and it is some people don't get it at all. So if you are blessed enough to have that emotional power that just takes you over, you want to make sure that when you get that gift, you want to direct it towards something beautiful, something powerful. And so even though it's hard, and it's most of the time people who have that emotional energy, it is hard for them to control the logical side of things because it's such an overwhelming force. So that's kind of the struggle for the people with that gift, is to confine it down. This is why business managers, if you're like an artist, for example, or a performer, business managers are nearly essential for most of them, because to connect with that energy and to have that business side of mind is a very difficult skill to have. There's a few that have had it, and for oddly enough, magicians tend to be one of the few people who can really nail it. Like David Copperfield, for example, is famous for being his own manager and one of the best magicians of all time. Might have to do with our skill set, because with magic, it's very intellectual and isolated, and then it's also very extroverted at the same time. So you do have to switch between the two. I'm not really sure why, though. And then finally, what we see here is the King of Spades. So the King of Spades is knowledge of knowledge. And so this is saying that while we are needing to have a strategy, one of the things that's holding us back is we already are aware of that. We know that we need to funnel that energy into things, but what we're tending to do is kind of get overwhelmed and think about thinking. We're thinking like, well, what if this happens? And 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 we're creating all these scenarios before we even take action. And so all that energy is just kind of getting wasted away onto stuff that never is really going to actually happen. So that would be my recommendation, is to be aware of that and avoid that. Instead, pick a plan. It's better to have a plan and take action on it than to find the perfect plan and to never take action. So pick a plan, make sure that, obviously you don't want to pick something that just has terrible long-term consequences. Pick a short-term plan, drive your energy into that, and try and create something. And if you do that, the action you can take, the transformation you can expect, is the Lover's card here. And the Lover's card is saying finding something that you're passionate about, that you love doing, that really lets you express that emotional energy in a creative and powerful and helpful way. And that's going to really be the opportunity you need to really manifest this gift that right now kind of feels like a curse and a burden. You can manifest it into something that is actually beautiful and good. This could be a career, this could be an art, a hobby, something that you love to do. Whatever that is, that's what you're looking for here, Johnny. So I hope that helps you out. I hope that gives you some insights, and let me know in the comments below if that gave you some help. And we're going to move on to the next reading. And that is very interesting to hear about your chicken who returned. That's so cool. Was it the same chicken, or were they still able to lay eggs? Let me know. Next up is Elizabeth. Elizabeth, you are next on the readings. Elizabeth is up next. Cameron. Hey, how's it going, Cameron? Yes, it helped. I'm glad to hear that it helped you, Johnny. I'm going to give you another piece of advice. If you hit the caps lock key, you won't top it. You won't type in all caps all the time either. All right. Elizabeth, you are up next, and then we have Michael. Elizabeth and then Michael. If you guys could comment in the comment section below what you'd like a reading about, we'll get your reading started shortly. By the way, I made a prediction about Best Buy. I don't know if you guys saw that, but there was a news that Best Buy is actually having a bounce back. After opening up, they saw a big spike because they implemented a new strategy, which is this reservations only. So they're giving you a premium experience to go to Best Buy, but they are limiting the amount of people who come in because of all the nonsense going on with the beer sniffles. And I had made a stream about is retail dead, and one of my predictions was that retail, despite everyone saying that retail is dead, it's going to be gone, it's a dead industry, and then all this beer sniffle nonsense happens and everyone's like, see, it is going to die. Best Buy still holding strong to my prediction, which is no, it's not a dead industry. In fact, I think what you're going to see is this catering to the premium, giving an amazing experience, giving something that really can transform your life, and that you can't recreate with Amazon. Like, you can go into the store, and I think you're going to see smaller scale, higher premium experiences and entertainment. You know, going to a mall and having an amusement park in the mall. Think about that. That's a huge thing that Amazon can't compete with. So sure, they can compete on price. Amazon's going to beat them on price for sure, but they can't beat them in terms of, well, can Amazon provide me an amusement park, a high quality restaurant, an entertainment venue, a bar, a fountain, a roller coaster ride, and the best quality products that are all handmade and custom made? No, they can't. So I think that's what you're going to see the future of retail go towards, is high quality, premium, local, and amazing experiences. Yes, it was the same chicken. We don't know if it can lay eggs. Interesting. Am I typing? And I type in all caps so people can see my text. Well, Johnny, people can see your text when they're not in all caps either. It just makes you look like you're crazy. I'm actually getting new frames for my glasses tomorrow. I've been waiting forever. Ooh, interesting. Can you help me get famous on TikTok? No. May I get my reading to be about next week? Of course. Let's do that. Now, again, I can't predict the future. Because I'm not a psychic. However, I take that back. No, I'm the mundane psychic. I'll predict, Elizabeth. Next week, I'm seeing a phone call coming in to your house. It's a telemarketer, and he wants to let you know you've won a Marriott reward. Yes, a Marriott reward, and it's a scam. Don't fall for it. I'm the mundane psychic. I can predict things. They're just stupid things that don't matter. I'm not a psychic, guys. I'm a wizard. So we got archetypical story, philosophy, magic, and illusion. So that's what you want to do. And what I do is basically say, hey, here's useful advice that could help anybody out in the next week, specifically tailored to your personality and your own traits. So that's what we're looking for here. Wait, what does Johnny say? I'm having fun. Johnny's awesome. Can you help me? No, we already talked about that. There's Aaron. We'll see what you type on me. Yes, indeed, Johnny. That is correct. All right. Let us see here. So, what are some things that secretly Longlegs Owl should be aware of? Well, probably would help if I shuffled the cards first and didn't get all of the exact same cards that she should be aware of that can help her out. So we got the Seven of Spades. So that's confidence in logos. So being in a state right now where you're feeling pretty confident in your knowledge set, you're feeling like, I'm not doing too bad. I'm not worrying too much about my my ability to like study and gain wisdom and to perform. There's a little bit of anxiety here, but I feel like more or less I've got the knowledge set under control, so that's good to see. However, things that you should be aware of for the next week would be Three of Spades. So that's saying, let's not get too cocky here. We don't want to say like, I got this, I'm fine, I'm not going to study, I'm not going to work hard. This is saying, whoa, let's make sure that we put in the hard work and we keep growing. It doesn't mean that we have to go crazy and be super stressed about it, but we don't want to be laxed either. We don't want to kind of just goof off. So that's where it's just like saying, hey, it's good to be aware of what we need to know, but let's make sure we're prepared as well. You know, I know that there's been times for myself where when I was doing magic shows, 100 shows, like just all the time, going TGI Fridays, table hopping show, boom, 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 table to table to table. And you get into a routine where it's like, I could go and crush anywhere, man. And then you hit a new venue and you go in there and you aren't prepped and you're like, oh, wow, okay, man, that sucked, and it will burn. So even if you're really great at what you're doing, you want to make sure you do the prep work. Now, the next piece of advice we see popping up here for you is the Nine of Diamonds. Also, I said secretly long legs owl. My apologies, Elizabeth. I don't know why I said that. I meant Elizabeth. So the Nine of Diamonds here is about confidence in the material, or attainment of the material. And so what this is saying is be prepared for really seeing some material results manifest in the real world in the near future here. Seeing the results of hard work, or even the potentially just unexpected gift. That could be something that you're not expecting to come. That's another possible thing. So that would be what I'd be aware of here, and be looking out for that. And then finally, what we see is the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is the beginning of a new spiritual journey. And so while this is all going on, be aware and on the horizon for something that could inspire us, something that could really be like, wow, that's awesome, that's amazing. Like, I'm really interested in that flickering of attention that can come to us, that inspiration. Actually, I believe, what was it, in Harry Potter, I don't read Harry Potter, but I remember watching a psychology video about Harry Potter, and the golden thing, the snitch with the wings, is a metaphorical representation of this card. It's the attention that catches your eye, the whoa, what was that? And you follow it and you guide yourself towards it. And so be on the lookout for when your attention is captivated by something. And look towards that and see where that path goes. It doesn't mean it's your destiny, perhaps, but it could be something that's going to lead you to the first step towards your destiny, or just an interesting, unique path. So be on the lookout for that. Now, if you do all these things, the thing you can expect is the 10 of Diamonds here, which is the completion of a material chapter in your life, the end of one story and the beginning of a new one. This is a happy ending to a story. This is the, hey, wow, that was awesome. This is great. I can't wait for book 2 to come out. Let's get book 2 of my life started and start moving on a new journey. So looks like you're about to begin a new hero's journey. Awesome place to be. That's one of my favorite places to find people because I love watching people move forward on their hero's journey. So that's great to see this popping up for you here, Elizabeth. I hope that helped you out. Hope that gave you some insights, and we're going to move on to the next reading, which is Michael. Michael, you are up next. And then after Michael, we have Sydney. Michael, if you're still here, please let me know what you'd like a reading about in the comments below. Seems similar to the word knowledge and words of prophecy, i.e. 2 of the 9 spirits mentioned in Corinthians. That is an interesting way of looking at it. It isn't, but I'm not doing prophecy here, unless I guess if God chose to use me, he could. But I'm not aware if I am. But yes, the knowledge, which translates roughly into, and I believe in Greek, in wisdom, that is what I am doing. I'm memorizing archetypical story, and I'm using magic and illusion, and which is a mnemonic device as well with this deck of cards, to memorize philosophy. So you bring your needs, and then I figure out, okay, using magic and illusion, what story are you on? Which is, these archetypical stories are the vibrational patterns of reality that are written in by God himself. This narrative of life, if you will, that Carl Jung really identified, and that's why he said, I don't believe in God, I know there is a God. That's where you see these archetypical stories manifesting. So we follow these patterns of behavior without even realizing it. And so we want to figure out, where are you? What story are you in? What character are you? And where are you at in your story? And so that's what I'm trying to figure out. And then from there, I act as the wizard and I say, oh, okay, you're in this story and you're this character and you're at this point in the story. You need wisdom from this philosopher to help you move forward, to get past that particular point. And so that's what I'm trying to do with these readings. And that's why there's a universal element to them. You might be watching them and be like, whoa, wait, I feel that too. It could be that you are on the same story or the same character, or you could be in the same story and be a different character. In the same way that I could read Lord of the Rings, you could read Lord of the Rings, and I might more empathize with Gandalf, while you empathize more with, say, Legolas. And so we can watch the same movie or read the same book and gain wisdom from the same literature. That's kind of what we're trying to do here. Just a brief understanding of what I mean by reading. And no, I'm not communicating with any spirits, angels, demons, none of that stuff. I don't do that here. Michael, I did not see you comment. Did you? Oh, there you are, Michael. My apologies. Could I get mine about the something what near future? I'm feeling a change in energy, but can't describe it. Ooh, very interesting indeed, Michael. Let's take a look. It sounds like there's outside my trailer. I don't know what that means, Johnny. Ryan, also true. But can you follow me on TikTok? No. Please stop trying to promote your TikTok stuff. If you want to get famous on TikTok, make good stuff on TikTok, and then people will follow you. Also, being famous is a really silly thing to pursue. I wouldn't recommend it. I'm not trying to get political at all, and I'm so sorry if I offend anyone, but I don't talk about those things secretly. Long legs owl, because there's no those are spells that are written to control people's minds. Could I get mine about something in the near future? Okay, thank you. No problem at all. Super interesting. I hope you make more lectures on it. I will definitely indeed. All right. Michael. And then after Michael is Sydney. Michael is Sydney. Sydney, you are up after Michael, just so you know. So if you are here, let me know in the comments below what you'd like a reading about. Okay, all right, Michael. Well, that makes sense. Oh, right. Well, what we got here is all wands. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, Michael, you're going through a very weird, unexplainable circumstance in your life right now that feels profound, but we can't really put words to it. So I just want to ask, no, that's not a problem at all. Perfectly fine. Secretly long legs out. All right. Looking into the past here, we see the Six of Wands. So this is a grind on the spiritual journey. So I'm seeing that we're like going down some paths, we're gaining new wisdom, new ideas, but it doesn't really feel like we're getting anywhere. It kind of just feels like we're going through the muck, and there isn't anything that really makes us feel like, yes, like I can do something with this. Like, I get the impression of like when I went to a private Christian college, and and keep in mind, colleges, don't go to them, bad. They're very bad places. And here's a good example of one. And they'd say, this is your spiritual life. We're going to study the Bible, and we're going to focus and fixate on arbitrary little things like the NIV versus the King James Version, and whether or not the God is a Trinity, or whether or not God is three beings in one, or is he a four-dimensional being, and all these things. And at the end of the class, you're like, right, so what do I do with my life, though? What? What do you mean with your life? Yeah, like, how does that apply to me? Like, how does this affect my life? Huh? Like, there's no answer there. And so I'm getting the impression here where it's like we're sludging through this philosophy and wisdom and literature, and it's just like, okay, that's cool, I get it, but like, what do I do? And so now what I see is on the horizon here is the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is the attainment of spiritual development. So this is saying that after sludging through a lot of that gunk, we got to this position where we're like, oh, whoa, wait, there's someone who's doing something with the philosophy. There's somebody who's doing something with the wisdom, their religion. Wow, they're taking action. Like, things are happening for them. That's awesome. Like, I want to know what that is. And so that's kind of where we find you at right now. It's like we don't have a way to define it yet, but we're just like, oh, whoa. There's stuff I could do with this wisdom. Neat. And so that's kind of where I see you at right now. Is this sounding on point for you, Michael? Let me know in the comments below if that's sounding on point. And if not, that's perfectly fine. We will adjust accordingly. Go ahead and let me know. Do you believe the cards you draw are random or providence? I don't know. I mean, I believe in synchronicity, which is from Carl Jung. I think that there is a potential for synchronicity in the randomness. By creating a random event, I think that opens the opportunity for synchronicity. And we've seen that happen here on the show before. It's kind of crazy. We have particularly one of the owls that comes in here quite often. He always is getting paid readings, and every time we literally watch his show, and he can come in a month later, and it will literally watch a 9 card reading just completely line up with his timeline, to the point where it's just disturbing. That being said, each of these represents an archetypical story and a philosopher, and most philosophers cover a huge range of wisdom. So it's like, I could take wisdom of Hegel or Nietzsche or Aristotle or Plato, and virtually anything that you're going through, they probably have said something that's beneficial in regards to what you're going through. So that there's that element to it as well. Michael says, it sounds kind of accurate, but not completely sure. Awesome. Well, let's move forward to the next steps and see if it's on point for you there, Michael. If not, that's all right. Just let me know, and we will get some more cards in here to figure out what's going on, or what else you need to know. So the final card that we see showing up here for you is the Four of Wands. And so this is kind of a call to action, and this is kind of the next steps to really look towards is, all right, so I got the vibration. I've got the feeling that maybe there is something more to this based on what I've been experiencing in my life. Now what I need to do is kind of, I know when I get into this topic, it's just all this muck, just sludge, where you're just like, okay, what does it mean to be a Christian? Well, you believe in the Trinity or King James, and the Bible says that render unto Caesar's what's Caesar's, and you're like, love thy neighbor as thyself. Okay, that's a core principle. I could do that. Cool. So have good neighbors. That'd be a good place to start, right? Yeah, and people that I can love and trust. Build a community. Cool. All right. Don't covet other people's stuff. All right. So if I'm going to be a good neighbor, it means don't steal from my neighbors. Awesome. So I'm already on track for having cool people as my neighbors that I know, that I trust, that have good principles, and I'm not being a jerk to them. Well, you're now already better than like 90% of people in modern cities. Like, most people don't have that. Most people don't know their neighbors in modern cities. Most people aren't good people to their neighbors. And so you've already taken a bunch of steps to grow by just applying one very basic principle of the Bible. And so that's where, and obviously I'm saying Bible because I'm a Christian, but you could apply it with Aristotle, you could apply that with Plato. Every philosophy, any spiritual practice you're looking at, try to get out of the gunk and let's get down to the principles. And then from there, let's just you don't have to believe them. Don't worry about believing it or not. Just act it out. Pretend as if you believe it and see what happens. Judge it by its fruits, which is a principle of the Bible as well that often gets neglected. Judge it by its fruits. Have you tried? I remember an absurd amount of people. I think it was like 10 different people. I don't keep a running tally of it, but a large number of people in my life who are atheist, who have come to me as atheist, and then, of course, atheism being a very foolish religion, very easy to disprove and falsify, it completely just falls apart into pieces. So that happens. They would talk to me, and then I would show them the holes in their logic, and then I'd say, like, have you ever just tried? Because they always would be like, well, when I say, God, turn off my phone right now, it doesn't happen. I'm like, okay, but like, what if you go home tonight, sit down on your bed, you don't have to believe it, and just say, okay, anything, and a being that Tyler worships called God, Jesus, I don't believe in you, but could you give me some wisdom that I don't know, that I should know, that would make my life better? And then just wait. And then they do. And every one of them has come back and be like, yeah, I got information. What the heck was that? It's like, I don't know. But it works, doesn't it? It works. So maybe keep doing it. Maybe look a little bit more into the book. Maybe take it more seriously. Judge it by its fruits. Apply its principles in real life and see if it works. Apply what Plato says. Apply what Aristotle says. Apply what the people tell you and see what happens. You can apply the principles like you talked about earlier about macroevolution. As I have up here, I have Charles Darwin's book Origin of Species there, where he put forth the reasons why his theory of evolution was false, and the holes in that theory. And if you take that to its conclusion, you believe it, and you take action on it, we've seen what happens. That's what produced Stalin. That's what produced the Nazi movement in Germany. So that's what happens when you apply that philosophy. Vice versa, you can see what happens when people apply other various philosophies. But you don't want to worry about what they think, what other people do, because it's always going to be through someone else's persuasion in life. So instead, just try it for yourself. See if it's fruitful. See what happens. That would be my recommendation for you. I hope that helps you out. I hope that gives you some insights. I went on a little rant there. I don't know why. Felt like I tapped into, I just tapped into something there. That was weird. All right, we're going to move on to the next reading. I hope that that was helpful for you and gave you some insights. Mr. Michael. Moving on, we have Cindy, and then Dorian. Cindy, and then Dorian. Dorian is a cool name. I like it. No problem at all, Michael. I hope that helps you out. It's funny. That was odd. That was an odd experience. All right. I'll go and process that later. Yay, I'm excited. I feel lame for what I want to know. But can you tell me about my love life? Well, that shouldn't feel lame at all. It's one of the most important aspects of life. I love life and why my ex has been in my dreams lately. Ooh, very interesting. Okay, well, that's two things here. Let's get some insights on that. However, it's very common for dreams. Okay, I wonder if you have any questions about romance. Hearts, Jack of Hearts, the Lover's card. I wonder. All right. Wow, that's insane. Okay, you were asking about synchronistic events? Well, here you go. All right. So in regards to your dreams, I actually have a lecture on that on here on YouTube. If you search interpretation of dreams, I think it's like chapter 2. We actually do or chapter 1. I have a lecture on how you interpret dreams based on Sigmund Freud's work. And also we delve into a little bit of Carl Jung's work as well and his hierarchy of dreams. So more or less, you have a basal level dream. This is kind of like the dreams that dogs can experience that are the product of environmental factors. So this could be like if you've ever dreamed, I remember this happened to me when I was a kid. I dreamed that I was being stabbed right in the face as a child. There was just a man had taken a spear and was stabbing it into my cheek, and it was hurting so bad in my dream, and I was freaking out. And then I woke up, and I had the mumps. So I had my face had swollen and was in agonizing pain. And that was a physiological reaction that I had from that experience in my dream. So that's one level. And that can happen, for example, like if someone walked by you who happened to be wearing the same perfume or deodorant as your boyfriend from the past, and you were asleep, it could trigger a memory of the boyfriend. So that's the physiological level of the dream. Then you go up into the mental level, and there's a few animals that seem to be able to do this, but it seems to be mostly a human thing. And this is more intellectual dreams. So this is like data processing. This is your brain trying to like process all the data throughout the day and say like, this is not important, this is important. Let's categorize this in a symbol so we can store it for later and things like that. And so that, if you had a lot of experiences with your ex, you're gonna have a lot of data and information processing involving him in the past. Then you get into the weird stuff. This is the stuff where Carl Jung's like, oh, okay, so there's supernatural elements to this reality. Whoa, okay, cool. So that's where, and that's why Carl Jung and Freud really differentiated. He's like, wait, this isn't all about, sex, Freud, come on. I had a dream, I saw a being from a culture I don't know. He told me information I didn't know. I came back, wrote it down, found the symbol in another culture I've never studied, wrote down his wisdom, and the wisdom was beneficial for me, and I didn't know the wisdom beforehand. How is that about sex? Tell me that, Freud. And Freud's answer was like, and then they never talked again. So that's one of those are your archetypical dreams. And so those, you know them when you experience them. There's never a question really. You know it. It's like it's not a dream. It's in the feeling of like as if reality is more real than it. The feeling of this is more real than what I'm used to experiencing. And so when you feel those, you'll know those. So the first step for your dream would be to figure out where it falls into that category. In most cases, I'd say 90%, it's physiological. Physiological would probably be about 20% of them. And then you could say 70-ish% is going to be that data processing. And then 10% is that archetypical dream. And there's also some other striations that are fit into that category. It's very broad categories. For example, you could do a lucid dream, that's a small little sliver, that kind of stuff. But more or less, those are the broad categories. So try and figure out where it is in those categories, and then from there, you can start interpreting them. Because what's cool about the data processing dreams is you can write them down when you wake up, and you can analyze them, figure out what the symbols are, and gain wisdom from them about your subconscious. So that's a pretty cool thing that you can do, as well as the archetypical dreams. Yeah, I dated him 8 years ago, and last time I saw him was 6 years ago. Yeah, that'll happen. Remind me, synchronicity. God, briefly explain Carl Jung's most complicated topic. So synchronicity is basically the observations and clinical observations made by Carl Jung. The clinical observations made by Carl Jung that there appears to be authorship to reality. There seems to be a divine force at play that does things that are outside the norm of probability. And they seem to be connected, from my experience, with people who are on the path towards truth, people who are following truth, worshiping truth, tend to have them occur more often. I gotta go, sorry, no problem at all. See you later. Secretly, long legs owl. Do you believe archetypes are more real than our perceived reality since they represent timeless truths? Yeah, it's hard to say. It's pretty complicated. All right. So with that being said, let's finish up. Let's do your reading. My apologies. But yeah, that's a brief discussion on dreams for you there. So the Six of Hearts here is about a grind in the emotions. And so what we're seeing here in the past is going through a lot of rough times here regarding relationships. This is, the just face plant after face plant to just like problem after problem. This is a really long and slow grind, and so that's an unfortunate experience to be going through, and painful experience indeed. So walking into the next steps, what we see here is the Jack of Hearts, and so the Jack of Hearts is about taking action on emotions. So what this could be telling us is, in the past we were really gaining wisdom. We were really going through a tough emotional time, and right now what we're kind of trying to do is find new relationship, a new inspiration, a new drive towards emotion. And what this is a call to action here to do is to make sure your brain's probably, your biology is saying, I want to start a new relationship, for example. And now your brain's like, okay, well, remember what happened in the past? Let's run that sequence of data. Hey, remember what went wrong here? What went wrong here? What went wrong here? And it's trying to identify those problems for you in the dream so that you can avoid it into the future. And what's good about this is we see that if you go through that process of data analysis and identify the flaws and the things that you enjoyed, you can actually, and we see this with the next steps, the Lovers card, you can find someone that's going to really fulfill the things that you're looking for in a relationship better, because you now know what didn't work and you know what you enjoyed. And so when you have those two data points, you can really go through life and really improve your relationship, because you're going in with a filter now of what didn't work. So that would be my recommendation for you, is really get this concrete. Let's write this down. What didn't work? What did we like? What was awful? What was awesome? Get all of that down and then take action on it. That would be my recommendation for you. I hope that helps you out. I hope that gives you some insights, and we're going to move on to the next reading. Just a brief introduction on how to do dream interpretation and what a synchronistic event is. No biggie. Dang, that's exactly it, my dude. I'm glad to hear that that's on point for you, Sydney. That's why I'm here. And then last up here, we got Dorian. Dorian, you are the last reading on our list for tonight, unless we have any paid readings that came in. By the way, if you went to paypal.me/askawizard and got a paid reading, please let me know in the comment section below, and I will verify that, and we'll get your reading going. Or if you'd like to support what I do, if you enjoy it and you have the resources to do it, do not do it. The times are tough right now. Times are going well for me. I am blessed financially, so do not feel pressured at all. But if you are the kind of person who's like, yeah, I can definitely support this, I like it, go on over to patreon.com/askawizard, and you can buy me a cup of coffee, buy me lunch, or buy me dinner. The support is greatly appreciated and helps me do these things. All right, thank you. We'll definitely watch your dream interpretation lecture. Awesome. I hope you enjoy it. You'll get to see me in a little vest. I was back when I was doing my Magic Castle show, so I literally would do like a lecture before I went over to the Magic Castle, and so I would be like get into a vest or a suit, or if I was before a magic show, and it was like my way of like getting my thoughts out before I went. Can I get a general reading? I've been seeing 11, 11, 11, 111 a lot lately. I don't know what that means. You like to mention Jung, C.S. Lewis, and J.R. Tolkien also talked about archetypes and myths and called Jesus the real myth. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a good way of phrasing it. J.R.R. Tolkien is... I mean, if you read Lord of the Rings, it's hard to argue that it's not. He didn't tap into something real there. It's just incredible. And then C.S. Lewis outwardly did that on purpose. Like, so like, yeah, no, I mean, C.S. Lewis, Aslan, come on, like, yeah, it's perfect. Beautiful, beautiful works. Carl Jung is a bit weird. Carl Jung, you got to be careful with, because Carl Jung did identify God. However, he also got involved with some pretty dark stuff. You know, he messed around with things that shouldn't be messed with. And I hope that he attained forgiveness by the end. But he did, you know, he went down some dark paths. And so, and there's a lot of pain that came from that. You know, he was raised in with a pretty painful experience to really not have a respect for Christianity, and so it's hard to blame them. You know, you have like your Dawkins who have no arguments. They're not well-formed or even very thoughtful people in any of their beliefs in regards to religion, but they so vehemently hate God because, you know, they had negative experiences with it in the past, and that's a hard spell to break. And so I do give them the benefit of the doubt in that regard. Johnny says, I can't stop seeing 666. Well then, Johnny, change your clock. It's clearly broken. My sister keeps seeing Momo. I don't know what that is. All right, 111. I don't know anything about numbers or whatnot. I know Carl Jung mentioned that there's synchronistic elements to numbers. Let's find out. I almost got a little freaked out there. We had 2 7s pop up in a row, and I was like, if this is 777, I don't know what's going on anymore. All right. That was pretty crazy. All right, let's see. General reading here for Dorian 111s. 1 symbolically represents the beginning of something new, so perhaps that's the new story. Maybe that's the beginning. Your brain is saying, hey, it's time to start a new story, a new chapter in our life. Let's find out here, though. Looking into the past, we see confidence in the material. Beautiful card to see popping up there. This is basically saying, hey, you know, your past, not too concerned with, you know, am I going to have food? Am I going to have shelter? Getting to have those basic needs really met and not having that concern, which, you know, is actually a blessing. Here in America, you know, most people have that experience nowadays because we live in a really awesome society during a really awesome time. But for most of human history, and for most countries even today, and in a lot of places in America, a lot of caveats there, people don't have that. So this is really, really great to see popping up here of the 7 of Diamonds, because more or less you do get out of a lot of the traps that people fall into when they don't have that upbringing. You can get into, have to deal with some, I wouldn't call them demons, but some difficulties. Like if you had to go through those experiences, it's very common to have an unnatural stress regarding finances because you're worried about what if that time comes again. So good to see that that's a solid foundation for you. And now walking into the present, we see another beautiful card popping up for you, Dorian, which is the Seven of Hearts. The Seven of Hearts is saying abundance of emotions. You have people around you who love you, who care about you, and want the best for you. And that's beautiful to have in your life. Really, really awesome. Typically, when I see this popping up, as of late, I've noticed a lot of people neglecting this. They don't want to, and it's from a place of kindness too. They don't want to be a burden on the people that love them. And what you need to realize is that the people who love you and want the best for you want you to ask them for help. Want you to ask them for help, or I could just knock my phone over. They want to the best for you. They want a good thing to occur for you. They want to be the person you come to for guidance. So don't be too worried to reach out to them, to talk to them, to get advice. And so those are the two cards we see popping up for you now. Now the next steps, the final steps that we see popping up here is the Five of Diamonds. So the Five of Diamonds is a disruption in the material. And so what this is saying is I think that there's this, and this is more of an intuitive feeling I'm getting here, but I'm getting this almost like weird backwards feeling of dread. There's this like just undertone of dread and something's not right. And we're kind of worried. And I think what it is we're looking around and we're seeing, man, I've got a good upbringing. I've got loving family around me. Things don't seem horrifying right now. But if I turn on the news, it's horrible. If I go outside into the cities, it's terrible. So like there's this cognitive dissonance that occurs where it's like, my internal world is fantastic, but when I turn on the news, turn on social media, I turn on the TV, everything's falling apart. What's going on here? And so what I think you want to do here is really disrupt your perception of what the material world is. The flashing boxes aren't the real world. They're a lie. They're a show that are put on to control people. That's not reflective of reality. What's reflective of reality is what you see and experience in your everyday life. What's within a 200 to 400 acre radius of where you live. That's really your reality. If you can be in a place where everything is, the state is fantastic, everyone's thriving, great parties and all that's going on. If in the 200 area radius, your forest is on fire, it doesn't matter how great everything else is around you because there's a fire in your neighborhood that's burning. And so you need to focus on that smaller scale, because if everyone focuses on that smaller scale and makes that smaller scale ideal and fixes the problems around them on the small scale, then the world becomes healed, better, more effective. Not healed, that's the wrong word, but it becomes thriving. You can build the kingdom of heaven on earth. You can live a life that is holy in a realm that is fallen. So the world is fallen. You can't fix it. And that's why I was saying not heal. You can't fix the world. You can't heal the world. It's not possible. It's not within any human being's capacity to do that. You can be of the world and not in the world, though. You can be your space, your community, your loved ones and family. You can make them fantastic. That is what you can control. That is what you can change. And that is what you can improve. And it's what you can destroy, too. You can be a billionaire sitting on the top of piles of money and looking over your empire and have a horrible life because your mother hates you and your daughter hates you, or you have no friends. You can build empires in this world and live in hell. You don't live in the world. You are of the world, not in the world. This realm is owned by Satan. Don't worry about that realm. Worry about what you control. The gift that you have is to build cut out a little sliver and try and build goodness, logos into it. That's what you can control. And that would be my recommendation for you. There's going to be fire in the dark realm. There's going to be evil. There's going to be horror. That will happen. That's a fact. This is a realm owned by Satan. You can control your 200, 400 acre radius. You can do that. That's within your control. Work on that. Dorian says, yes, that is it. Glad to hear that. John St. Julian keeps saying 111. He has a YouTube channel where he explains it. Interesting. I'm actually following you on TikTok. Well, thank you very much, Georgia. Georgia. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And that is the reading I have for you today, Dorian. I'm glad to hear that that was helpful for you and gave you some insights. And let me know in the comments below if that helped you guys out. Time for bed and time for me to end my stream. Good call, Sydney. Time for bed. Thank you for your time. And keep on keeping on. Will do. I will be back again here live Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Pacific Coast time here on YouTube and 7:30 p.m. Pacific Coast time over on TikTok. If you enjoyed the stream and you'd like to support, go to patreon.com/askawizard. You can buy me a cup of coffee, you can buy me lunch, or you can buy me dinner to support the stream. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And if you have any quick questions, I can answer those. And if not, we'll close up the stream. Dorian says, okay, thank you so much. No problem at all, Dorian. I hope that helped you out. I hope that gave you some insights, and I hope you enjoyed that. Wow, thank you so much for all those thumbs up, guys. I really appreciate that. That support really means a lot. It helps us in the algorithm, and it is amazing to see how many people we've built up here so quickly. I think we've only been doing this for like 2.5 weeks now. Is the book club still going? Not really. We're working on something. So the beer sniffles came about, and so what it more or less broke down to, give you a little bit of the history. The Parliament of Owls was a small group of people that I had as friends that were, some of them were clients, some of them were my friends, and we just kind of like this bookshelf right here. People just come on in. Hey, come on over for dinner. Oh yeah, let's get a reading going, man. Let's figure out where you're going out in life. Have some tea. Dude, the book's going to help you out here. Dude, you got to check out Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Here, you take the book, bring it back. We'll read it. We'll talk about it. It's going to help you out. And so that's kind of like what we were doing. And then that started growing. We got a lot more people going in the local area. And so it was like, shoot, okay, well, how do we expand this? What if we do like a meetup, but we'll do it online, and everyone else could get their own books, and then we'll read them, that kind of thing. And then, unfortunately, beer sniffles comes around, and so now everyone's locked away in their own little bubbles, and it's difficult to make that happen. So we've been experimenting with some ideas of like, do I ship the books out? Maybe people could buy them and I could ship the books. How do I source the books? And so we're kind of in that process now. The new direction that we're looking at is kind of turning those into courses, making like a formalized course that would have like the book, or at least a link to the public domain book, perhaps, or we have to figure out the legalities of it, of course, and then like a course as long with a lecture that you would get, and then we would be putting those in Patreon, so people who pay at every pay level would have access to all of them, or you could buy them on a one-off basis, so you could be like, I want the lecture and course on Play-Doh or whatnot for whatever the price would be, and so those are kind of the things we're experimenting around with right now. However, I'm also doing in a transitionary period in my life right now, which you guys will find out in the near future. So there's, I'd say I have about 7 full-time jobs worth of work going on right now. So there's a lot happening, but there's a lot planned as well. If you guys want to help out, please let me know. I would love some assistance. And so thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed. And one of the ways to help would be patreon.com. Throw some support my way if you can afford it, and I would appreciate that. May my owl name be Fall Owl. Yes, indeed, Elizabeth. We'll owlify you before we go. You can imagine a glowing ball right in between my hands. Now, not everybody can see it. About 20% of people can. However, what's important is it did just disrupt what you were expecting me to do. And that's what we want, because it opens up your mind to a suggestion, which is that, Elizabeth, right now we want to not be too excited about things that we can't control. Instead, let's be excited about the things that are within our control. So we don't want to put our mind towards the goals that are not something that we can attain ourselves. You might think about this like with weight loss. I want to lose 20 pounds. That's not something you can control. But what you can control is to eat healthier and to feel, to do the best that you can to follow a diet. That's within your control, outside metrics or not. So let's figure out what are the things we're doing in our life that we're focusing on that are within our control, and then make ourselves excited about those things and accomplishing the things that are within our control, not the things outside our control. I'll take that right here. Send that on off. Should be flying on over to Elizabeth. 3, 2. You might experience some strange phenomenon. It tends to happen. 1. Welcome to the flock, Fall Owl. Welcome to the Parliament of Owls. You're crushing. Yeah. Welcome. Welcome, Elizabeth. Welcome to the flock. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a good evening, and talk to you all later. Peace.